Hi, Miss Murphy. So this whole year I've been brainstorming ideas of gifts to give you as a thank you for being an incredible teacher, and for writing my letter of recommendation and for all the help you gave me with my college essay. But it was so frustrating because I felt that every gift I came up with just felt so small in comparison to the huge gifts you gave me of knowledge and inspiration and unconditional support. And so I thought it would be fitting to make one final movie for you. And this way, instead of just hearing me gush about how amazing you are, you can hear it from your students and your past students and your coworkers. And every single person who I asked to be a part of this project just had the most incredible things to say about you, and they were all so excited to be given the opportunity to share those things with you, and I think that says a lot, and I really, really hope you enjoy. Thank you so much.
Hi, Miss Fedorko. I just wanted to say that my favorite thing about Mrs. Murphy is her integrity, her honesty, and her love for all things beautiful.
Hi, Miss Murphy.
Hi, Miss Murphy.
Hi, Mrs. Murphy.
Hi, Miss Murphy.
Miss Murphy has been such a great teacher this year, and I've had so much fun in her AP English class.
So Miss Murphy basically taught me how to write and read. I came into the class, I knew nothing. I was not doing well. My first assignment, I got a C. It was horrific. But I don't know, Miss Murphy, her class was really engaging, I think. There were so many opportunities to speak up. She gave so much time for class discussion. I thought the discussion was really open. There was no sense of judgment. You could just say what you wanted. And through that, I learned what is like an intelligent thing to say, what is a dumb thing to say, like what works, what doesn't. And then through that, I learned how to structure an argument, structure my ideas, structure my thought.
Hi, Miss Murphy. It's Zoe here. I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything that you've done for me for the past 2 years that I've had you. You really inspired me, and if it wasn't for you and your teaching, I definitely would not be going into comparative literature.
Yeah, no, Miss Murphy, honestly, I feel like English class in the past, I've never really enjoyed it, and her English class was the first class that like I would show up every day to English and actually be excited about it.
Hi, Susie. So I think this is a wonderful gift that you get this little package from Luna about everybody who thinks that you're an important part of their lives. And you know, for me, not only where I live and how you helped me to get there, but also helping me through every school year. Sometimes it's class period by class period, sometimes it's day by day.
I can confidently say Miss Murphy was the greatest teacher I've ever had. Miss Murphy was the absolute pinnacle of my high school experience. She took a subject, English, which I didn't care about at all, and made me genuinely passionate about becoming a better writer.
Miss Murphy, I just wanted to say genuinely thank you so much for everything that you did for me and for like our fellow students. I know that I've said this a lot, but I genuinely don't think that I would have become the reader or writer I am today, or what I want to be in the future without your help.
I know it's been a long time, but I hear your name around the house a lot, and Luna told me that she was doing this project, so I wanted to be in the video. I always loved your class in high school. I didn't pay attention in all of my classes, but yours was definitely one of my favorites.
Miss Murphy, you're the GOAT. You make books cool. And sometimes I read a book and I'll sit there and I go, what would Miss Murphy say? And that's usually the smartest thing I'll end up thinking about the book.
Miss Murphy's also just an amazing person, so resilient. She's been through so much, especially this past year. I'm really appreciative of the work that she puts in for all of her students. On top of that, she has all the rec letters that she writes, including for me, which I'm extremely appreciative of. She just does so much work for students.
I first met Mrs. Murphy in 2012 when I was a student teacher here, and she took me under her wing and has nurtured me ever since.
When I started at Princeton High School, one of my mentorship requirements was that I had to observe a tenured teacher. And so we could observe tenured teachers like in the department or outside of the department. And everybody that I asked, my mentor and everybody in the department, they all had different suggestions, but the one thing that they all agreed on was that I had to go observe Miss Murphy. She was like the rock star teacher in the department, and I had to see what she was doing. And I can't say that I remember exactly what happened in the lesson, but I do have notes. And so, Susie, if you ask me, I could probably find those notes. But the one thing that I remember was just being impressed by the the sheer knowledge that you had of books and of literature, and the way that you presented that to the kids in a way that just kept them totally engaged. And I remember walking out being like so amazed and so grateful to be at Princeton High School, because that was my first year at Princeton High School.
So I'm just grateful for you just as a reading buddy, as my partner in crime with poetry, just kind of making my way through why we teach, and that gift of the reward when we have students who help us want to keep coming back.
Later, I learned just how much you read, and I just can't fathom how you read as much as you do. And it's one of the things that makes you a teacher idol for me, and one of the things that I appreciate most about who you are, both as a person and a teacher.
Okay, my experience with Miss Murphy. Miss Murphy, you were like a really great teacher. Actually, you made like the English. Like I still think about like Emerson and like Letter from Birmingham Jail was great. And like I still remember my project on like the noiseless patient spider. So yeah, really go. Stay good, Miss Murphy.
About Murph. Murph is the kind of person about whom you say leave some for the rest of us. She knows like everything there is to know about lit, and she's mother to the world, which is a pretty freaking amazing combination of things. So that's Murph.
Alright, so I'm going to rattle off some Murph stories. The first one took place the day that myself and the other members of the Princeton studio band flew to Spain and Portugal for our tour. It was the day of the Scarlet Letter reading test. I'm already laughing. You can tell where this is going. Reading test is where, you know, the teacher assigns a reading material or a book or whatever and gives out a short quiz to kind of filter out who read it and who didn't. At least that's what we thought it was going to be. It was a 1:35 day, which means class was already 10 minutes shorter than it usually was, and I could tell by the way Murphy walked into the room that I was going to fail. She walked in stressed and meaning business. She hands out this test that's like 10 questions or 12 questions. Every question is a full paragraph response, and it was impossible. And I'd read the book too, and I'd even thought about, you know, imagery, symbolism, some themes, connecting method to meaning, all that kind of stuff. It didn't matter. The test kicked my ass, and then I flew to Spain and Portugal, forgot about it, and then came back, and there was the day where she's handing back the tests, and I could tell as she's going one by one that everybody failed. And I think I got a D+, and I think the best grade that anybody that I knew got was like a C+ or a C-. It was a brutal test, and anytime I have anything, I compare any difficult test to that. I'm like, well, at least it wasn't Murphy's Scarlet Letter reading test.
What I like about Miss Murphy is how you can come to her and you're like freaking out about something, and she'll act like it's no big deal, and then you feel like stupid for being so freaked out about it, and then she like calms you down, and she just has such a calming presence.
So thank you, not only for helping me be a person who wants to continue teaching, but also someone who feels loved, and helping me through those moments that are challenging, those moments that are mysterious. I mean that in a way that life can be mysterious and like maybe philosophical and metaphysical.
I guess starting my second year at Princeton High School, we had contract negotiations, and they were a little bit fraught. And I was excited to spend time with you. A lot of time actually at some of the board meetings, and we were able to share our mutual connections to Trenton and to Chile. And that was just a very nice surprise. And then later, I learned that your son is a Zelda fan. I too am a Zelda fan. So we have a lot of interesting and fun connections beyond just the literature, and that's what it's all about.
Sitting next to her desk and talking to her every day, even though she probably doesn't want me to talk to her, has been so fun, and I've loved learning with her.
What I love about Miss Murphy is how she cares about each student and how energetic she is. You can tell she really will help you with whatever you need, and she's just really nice.
Beyond writing, I truly believe Miss Murphy made me a better thinker. From Emerson to Ben Franklin, for the first time, I read something and felt genuine inspiration to change my life.
I genuinely wasn't very interested in English before I came to your class, in Mr. Backy's class. I never saw myself as a type of person to pursue the humanities in any way. And just having had that experience with you, having been exposed to so many great authors and your amazing critiques and judgments of them made me want to emulate that and do the same, and just being in a classroom environment where there's so many people that are feeding off of each other's energy. It's a really, really beautiful thing to see, and something that I haven't necessarily found in any other part of my life so far.
And she just had a way of talking about what we were doing in class that, it really makes you invested in the material, and you can tell how passionate she is about what she does when she's teaching. And to have a teacher like that, it's really inspiring, honestly. And when someone can get you excited about the material, that's the sign of a great teacher.
Miss Murphy is a great English teacher, and her passion for what she does made me love her class so much.
Miss Murphy's class has been one of my favorites this year because she makes the discussion super interesting, and she always puts a lot of effort into our lessons, which makes the class lots of fun.
Even though I haven't taught at Princeton for the past 10 years, she still served as my mentor and was my cheerleader on the sideline for every single venture that I went on. I think one of my most favorite things about her is how she has a deep love, like I said, for all things beautiful. I think that when she teaches her children, this comes out in absolutely everything she does. When she learns about something, she doesn't do anything by half. She goes really, really hard. She's the kind of person who puts 1,000% effort into everything she does because she has care for absolutely everything, and she wants to do everything justice. She wants to do well by her students. She wants to do well by the poets she teaches, by the authors she teaches, and it just shows in everything she does.
She also helped me with my letter recs and my college essays, and a lot of the stuff that I'm doing next year, college and gap years, she was a part of that. And she's a great teacher. She's a great person. I'm really gonna miss her.
You've taught me how to love English and how to love reading, and for that I will be eternally grateful. And I love you so much. I hope that we can stay in contact, and thank you so much for inspiring me, and I know that you will inspire the next generation as well.
I remember that when I first came in the fall, and it was my junior year, well obviously, you teach slang, but I was always out for field hockey, so I never did any of my assignments on time because I never got them because I was never there, and it was really awkward. I think at the beginning of the year you definitely didn't like me because I was never there, but then I think throughout the year it got so much better.
Thank you so much for being such an amazing Lang teacher. You really made me a better writer. I really appreciated our time in great books and Lang, and I think I've taken a lot what you've taught me into Lit this year. Miss Liphart noticed it, and I enjoyed our time together.
3 months, September, October, November, it was end of the semester, end of the first semester. After reading Hawthorne, and after Murphy suffering through 3 months of me trying to write my essays in this pretentious prose that doesn't suit the way I am as a person, or the way I speak, or even the way I think, she just told me in one of my pre-essay checks, write it the way Hawthorne would write. Simple, to the point, say what you think, say what you mean, say what you feel. And that was, I think, my best essay. It might have been Ethan Frome. I don't even think it was a Hawthorne essay. I think we read a piece by Hawthorne, it was a short story, and then she said, write the Ethan Frome essay like that. And that's something that sticks with me until today. I still think about that sometimes. Think about that in music, playing simple, playing the way I think, playing my thought process, playing what I feel and what I hear and what I can interpret in front of me, and not going for anything else that isn't accessible to me. That's the best way to get my message across. Musically, interpersonally, if I'm writing, I still harken back to the advice she gave me when I was 16. So thank you for that, Hawthorne.
And while our AP run-up was a little brutal, it taught me how to take some thoughts and have a concise thought and then precisely back it up. She made me a better thinker overall.
I think reading my writing back from the end of those years, it was so good, and I think it was all because of you. You were always so supportive, even though, we had a little bit of a rough start to the year. But I'm so grateful for everything that you taught me. I'm so grateful for all the enthusiasm that you brought to your lessons, even when everyone was chatting and you were trying to listen, you know.
Honestly, I came out of class 10 times the thinker I was before, and I'm so appreciative of that.
I remember when Anna was coming to visit Kenyon, and you texted me about it, and I texted you back, and your response to that text was, it's so nice to hear your voice, and I thought that was really interesting and beautiful, because even though I was only texting you, I found it so interesting that you felt like you could hear my voice through a text. And then I also loved showing Anna around campus, and you around campus. I loved seeing you, and I hope to see you soon. I hope you're doing well. Yeah.
And the last story I'm going to tell, I think I might have told Murphy this at one point, but when my best friend from high school, Alex Moravchik, and I went to the Berkeley College of Music summer program, we were wandering around the docks near the water, and we saw a green light, a really strong green light, and we had this great idea. And so I posed like this, reaching out towards the green light, like the scene from The Great Gatsby. And Alex took a picture, and he called it The Great Gabesby, and we sent it to Murph. She never responded. I think that email's floating around somewhere. I don't think she didn't respond on purpose. I think she was probably just on summer vacation and didn't check her school email. But that email might still be around. Check your school email and see if it's around. It was pretty funny. It was a good picture.
Hi, Miss Murphy. I just wanted to say I missed your class so much, and I'm going to miss talking with you in the back. And thank you for being such a good teacher.
Miss Murphy's class was really one of my favorites. She's such an enthusiastic teacher, and I had a great time with her.
It was great, and I'm so glad that you were my AP Lang teacher, and I would do it all over again. Thank you.
Hi, Mrs. Murphy. Luna's graduation marks the end of an era for the Bar-Cohen family that began when Gabriel started high school in 2013, the PHS period. An epic tale told over 12 years, ... But seriously, during that time, we have been so grateful to have you as our trifecta teacher, that all three Bar-Cohen kids, Gabriel, Gaffin, and Luna, had the benefit of learning with you in your classroom. Thank you for all that you have imparted to them as a teacher and a role model, as a critical reader of their writing and a writer of their recommendations, for inspiring and enriching them on the page, in the classroom, and on their path forward. In the dark days of COVID, you created and hand-delivered personalized t-shirts to your homeroom, telling Geffen and his peers who missed out on so much of what bonds seniors in their last year that they are connected. We are still a community. A much-needed message at all times, but especially then. And I hope you will be happy to know that whenever I visit him in Tel Aviv, I am Gabriel's book mule, ferrying him books he's ordered and books he's requested I order, and books he knows that are somewhere in his room, maybe under his drum pad that he left behind the last time he was there practicing. And you know, Luna, you've seen how she is in your class, and I'm so grateful that she and I are able to connect over your class because you know, reading and books and literature and thinking and critical reasoning are so important. And I love how much she is inspired by what she is doing and reading in your class. And I know she'll take it forward to Richmond. And, you know, when kids take AP English and then continue to grade books, it's true that they're likely lovers of literature. But in our case, it was also the added draw of having you as a teacher.
I'm Miss Murphy. You probably don't know me, and I really don't know you, but I do know Luna. And Luna does never stops talking about you. Every time I see her, she's always telling me about some project she was working on for your class or some book she was reading. Every time I'm like, Luna, come skip lunch, skip your class, get pizza with me. She says, no, I'm not going to skip Miss Murphy's class. I have to be there no matter what. And as annoying as it was to me, it told me a lot about you as a teacher, and I appreciate what you've done for this school.
I just hope that she knows that she's impacted me more than she'll ever know, and that I look up to her all the time, and I tell all of my students how amazing she is.
Miss Murphy is an amazing teacher, and I really loved having great books with her. She's so understanding, and she really shows a true passion to what she teaches, and that makes for just a great class and a great bonding experience for all of us and our peers.
It was really a fun class. I really enjoyed having you as my teacher. You're so kind and understanding, and I'm so excited and I'm so glad that I got to take your class.
I think that what you do for students is so special because you, as a teacher, really inspire them to take that step and to learn to love literature and to love reading. And I think a lot of us have that passion as a kid and we lose it as we get older. But as Neil Gaiman would say, controversial as he is, like, literature truly is so important in inspiring empathy in our minds and discontent with the world, so that we're inspired to try to change it.
During the pandemic, it felt like we were always in a room together for the English 3, like in the English 3 breakout room. So we did spend a lot of time working together and collaborating on the English 3 curriculum, and it only increased my admiration for you. So thank you so much for being an inspiration to me, and I'm happy to finally say that.
Lastly, I must personally thank you for the Song of Achilles, Let the Great World Spin, God in Ruins, and through God in Ruins I found Life After Life, the Anthropocene Reviewed, and most recently, Northwoods, which are all life-changing reads from a life-changing teacher.
Hi, Miss Murphy. I really appreciated all that you did for me, helping with college, and I think your class really helped me get ready for the type of classes I'm going to be taking in college, and I'd like to thank you for that. So yeah, thanks a lot.
And I'll always remember, it all comes down to the wash. I love you, Miss Murphy.
It all comes down to the wash. I'll remember that for life. Love ya.
I really appreciate what she does and the work that she puts in nonetheless. So, yeah.
I'm just eternally grateful to you. You've made a very large impact on my life, and as much as I've said it before, like, I just really want to emphasize how I don't think I would be here without everything that you've done for me. So thank you.
And I really do hope that our storylines cross again. Be well, take care, happy summer.
Yeah, I just feel so lucky to be her friend and to also be one of her mentees.
Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Miss you. All the best, Miss Murphy. See you soon.
You are a gift to me, you know this. So thank you.